Hi everybody, morning. It's a fragrant Jock here with another honest opinion. Well, it is an honest opinion. It's a tagged video that Barry from Centralise posted to me. Thanks for that, Barry. I've been struggling with this one. It was about fragrances of the past. See, to be honest with you, I think recently actually I threw out another old one. Probably I'd kept it in the sunlight, and that was a problem. It went off, and I did have an original Fahrenheit, and why I threw that away when I moved house I'll never know, because they're absolutely worth a fortune now. As long as you keep them in a good place where it's dark and cool, they should last for a while. I don't know if the old formulations will last as long as the new formulations. Anyway, I threw most of them out, but I've still got memories of them. Definitely still got memories. So, as I say, it's a tagged video, so I'm going to try and put this together as best as I can, which is very hard because I've not got any of the fragrances. I'm the type of guy, I'm not really a hoarder. Apart from it, I suppose that's a bit of a contradiction with all the fragrances I've got now, but I don't clutter. I try and organise, and if something's there and I'm not using it, I throw it out. I'm the type of guy that probably loses a fortune through different things. But anyway, I'll start off. I've got a couple here that I've still... Obviously this is Jean Paul Gaultier, and this is an original. I got this off a Facebook group, off a very reliable person, so this is more or less original. The other one is Fahrenheit Perfume, but obviously this is an update, the latest update in the original, which obviously I was eager to try, but the original one, I'll tell you about that in a minute. But my first recollection of fragrances anyway, or experience, was probably my dad. Like anybody else, when they're young and they go into their bathroom or shower room or whatever, in the days it was a bathroom. I mean, a very working class background, a tenement. I stayed in a tenement in Glasgow, and I always remember my dad having Brut and Old Spice. Probably Old Spice was probably the best memory. I think possibly because it was so nice to smell, and it was. I'll try and stick a picture up. It was the one with the wee cap you pull off, and it was a splash on. Obviously, nothing was like sprays in the days, but I always remember that. That's probably my first memory of that. Old Spice, definitely. My dad's open thing with razor with the blades in the cabinet in the bathroom. There was a little wee cabinet with a mirror, and they had the blades that you put in the razor. I think years later I seen one of them and I thought, how could people use them? They're really, really heavy. I thought, I'll cut myself to ribbons with these things. But obviously the splash on would, I always remember it. It was lingering everywhere in the house. If he had a shave, he usually left it a few days and had a shave, and you would smell it everywhere. It was a really lovely smell, really fresh and musky. Must have nipped his face off right enough. And Brut was everywhere. Henry Cooper advertising it. Everybody at Christmas and things like that. A lot of people get Brut. Older, obviously when I was younger, it was the kind of adults that get Brut. Aunties and uncles. It was usually the splash on. It was in a tin to start with, and then it became, I think they put it into plastic. The deodorants as well. Fabergé, I think it was the company. I think Brut dates back in 1964. Henry Cooper done that advert. Old Spice dates back. Well, first of all, in America from 1937, it was a Shilton company that owned it. I think then they sold it. I don't know, Fabergé or whatever bought that. But that was definitely the earliest memory of, for me anyway, as I started growing up into teenage. You know, I probably did have a few, wasn't that many, but I would say my first one, for me anyway, going into teenage years, I would say late teenage, I would say definitely Jupe. It was definitely Jupe, and what was the other one? Fahrenheit, definitely Fahrenheit, which I can remember. Obsession, probably Obsession was before that. Calvin Klein. I'll try and stick a picture up of that. But for me, Obsession was 1986. That came out. The year after the female version came out. You always remember the bottle, kind of oval shaped bottle. It was a splash on again, but it was a really lovely smell, and it was probably the one I remember most people complimenting me on, saying it really was nice. So that probably, even to this day, probably got me the most compliments. And as I say, Joop or Joop, it's called. It's Wolfgang Joop. It was a perfumer in 1989. He put the exclamation mark on it, so as it kind of took it away from his name, so it was different. But he was a perfumer of that. 1989 that came out, and I always remember that because everybody, as Barry says, was into that. Anywhere you went out, most people wore Joop or Joop. And that was a splash on as well, as far as I remember. I think the spray came out a wee bit later, but it was a splash on originally I had. And I did try the other Joop or whatever it was. It came out, the green one, a wee bit later. That was I think that was the early 90s. I tried that. That was actually quite good as well. But these two here, Fahrenheit, I always remember that. That was a definite lady killer. Most women loved that. Guys either liked it or hated it for that petroleum type smell, but women loved it. I always remember the original of that. That was a really good one. Jean Paul Gaultier, Lamal. I always remember this as well. The original for this. I remember I was going out Christmas Eve one year. And I was ready to go out. I was all spruced up and looking good with my mullet. And I was about to head up to Glasgow. Into Christmas Eve was pandemonium. I don't know how I managed to get through it. But I always remember Jean Paul Gaultier Lamal, and I put this on. And I wasn't thinking, I was so excited. I was having a drink in my room before I went out. And I sprayed it in my eyes. It took me another hour at least to get back to normal before I actually could get out. I was late for my friends and they were a bit angry. But I always remember that. Probably the one with the most memories though is definitely Harvard, which is at M&S. The original one of that, you know, there's obviously latest ones of that. But Harvard, I always remember. My wife didn't really and even when I was just going out with her before we were married, she didn't really buy me a lot of fragrances because she knew it was I was quite choosy and personal about it. But I always remember she bought me, I quite liked that Harvard out of M&S. It was a splash on as well, I think, and she bought me that, so I've always got good memories of her with that. And I did keep the bottle till recently, and that was another one I put out. It just had went off, it had turned, so I ended up, I had to put it out. I was reluctant. I should have probably just emptied the juice and kept the bottle because it reminded me of her, because my wife died about 5 years ago. So that would have kind of reminded me of a lot of memories of her, but I've still got the memories. Nobody will ever take your memories away. That's one good thing. Anyway, that's as best as I can put this together, Barry. It's a bit disjointed, but hopefully it's fulfills what I was trying to get over. Anyway, I hope everybody's staying positive. Have a good day. Here in Glasgow it's absolutely teeming the rain, so hopefully you've got some good weather where yours are. Anyway, bye for now.